coming up on there? Make sure to double check because I turned it all the way down. On the top right there.
Right here? Okay, it's all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah? We live, Charlamagne?
Kind of like.
Okay. All right. Well, like I keep saying, we're only going to do an hour class today so we can break the feast. So whoever has any questions, now's the time. We're going to knock out some questions and then end this feast. Listen, I actually touched on, if y'all missed it in here, I touched on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday we went over talking about the Day of Atonement coming up, and we went over some scriptures on it. It was really good. So if y'all missed that, you need to check that out. Because I not only went into the Day of Atonement, the actual day, but I went into which way? It has to be faced up? Abadah?
Yeah.
Is it the wrong way?
When I turn it that way, it goes.
Oh, okay, so you gotta put it the other way. We're sideways now, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay, take it off. Yeah, just take it off. Yeah, take it off and then hold it. Yeah. That way. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, so we're doing it like this because we're only doing an hour of class and Yisrael. So if y'all got any questions, you can text. We're only going to do an hour of class. Bring me that piece, sis. That little piece on there. We're only going to do an hour because, yeah, take that off. We're only going to do an hour and then we're going to get to eating over here. Brothers and sisters that are here at the school. It's right there, sis. Just forget it. Don't worry about it. Just hold it. Sharad, come over here real quick. Do y'all have any questions? I know it's a few of us in here. Everybody's.
It's not. It won't open all the way.
No. Don't do that, sis.
No.
Take off the thing off of there. Let her hold the camera.
Sure.
There you go, sis. Thank you. Appreciate that. Don't worry about it. We'll get it. We are Yisrael. Do y'all have any questions in here? And then we'll look online, see if anybody has anything. How was y'all Day of Atonement? Yeah? It was good? Yeah? Yeah. I don't know, man. I always have. This was your first one, right, sis? How was it?
It was great.
Well, I mean, it's still going here, but
Right.
how is it?
It was great. I felt like I definitely came across where my spirit was tried,
Yeah?
but I just pushed through. I just kept saying and
Yeah.
talked to my husband and thought about you guys.
Yeah.
It made it so much easier.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you get through it. You know, the first ones are a doozy. I know starting out, it's rough. You know, but when you focus on the Most High during this day, you get your focus on you clearing. You know, you're saying to the Most High, well, if I'm going to be clear to this guilt, you know, I'm having one, you know, like I said, I went over the scriptures the other day talking about today and dealing with just the spirit of the law, you know, about fasting and about how we supposed to look at this day beyond just the commandment of doing the day. So I went over some good scriptures on that. So, but do y'all have any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
My question is about understanding what bias means according to scriptures.
Being biased? Okay. Well, let's look up the definition of bias so I can kind of get it. Go ahead, you got it?
Yes.
What you got?
I have a noun and a verb.
Uh-huh.
The noun is prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another.
She's probably gonna have to hold it. Okay.
And the verb is cause to feel or show
Yeah, just
inclination or prejudice for or against someone or something.
Okay, so where's your, I'm not sure what's your question. Do me a favor, just move the stand to the side. Y'all can switch if you want. Yeah.
And the reason why I'm asking, because I was amongst a peer, and he was talking about Alexander the Greek.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying, like, he was so great, he did all this stuff, and he's like, nobody could take him out, and he died of a cough. And so I was like, or like some sort of illness or whatever. And so I was like, so you think, I was like, and he also mentioned that he studied biblical history. And so I was like, so you don't think something more powerful took out Alexander the Great than just a cough or a fever or whatever it may be? And he was like, well, I didn't want to, he was like, I don't think of it in terms like that, otherwise I would be biased. And so he used that word to say he didn't add anything spiritual to it. Because it would have, I guess, swayed him to something else.
Okay, well, when you get in these conversations, sis, what I would have did is took them back to the history of all the kings of the Bible and say, well, let's put Alexander the Great aside for a second and understand why did the Most High take out Pharaoh? That's where you should have took him and said, listen, well, let's put Alexander the Great to the side and understand why did the Most High take out Pharaoh? You know, but this is why y'all, I mean, you're in school and stuff, but you got to get you some good history on Alexander the Great to know that Alexander the Great was a conqueror, and when he conquered, he murdered, he destroyed, right? So you got to bring them back to the history of these people and understand, was God with these kings of the earth? Well, how do you know God wasn't with these kings of the earth? Well, let's look at it and see if they follow the laws and commandments of the Most High. That's where you should have taken them right to that and showed them and said, listen, they're not following the laws of the Most High. So these kings that are set up, why did the Most High take them down? You see that? So, I mean, there's many ways to go about this conversation. But, I mean, how deep you want to go? Because me, I could have took him to Daniel's and said, listen, first of all, let's see what the Most High said about the Greek Empire, the Greek and Roman Empire, and took him to Daniel's and showed them that the last ruling kingdom, like if they understand history, you find out that in Daniel's, the 7th chapter, it speaks of the Babylonians, the Persian and Medes, the Greeks, and the Romans. So you could have took them that way and showed them, look, and we have to go over, I'm sure you haven't got it, we've gone over it before, but going over Daniel's, the 7th chapter, and show them that these empires were wicked. You see, you could have went that way. You could have took them the way of showing them the kings of the earth that don't follow the laws of the Most High is wicked. You see that? You could have took them that way. So you could have took them a few ways to address that bias, or I would have said, okay, let's not have a bias. Let's go directly with the information. And what does biblical information speak about when it speaks about all these empires that came up before the, you know, I'm going to say before the ruling of Christ, meaning that as Christ not being back yet, all these empires from America backwards, that they rule with the laws, statutes, and commandments. You see that? So, I mean, the first one you could have went to, go to Job 9:24. Go to Job 9:24, and if somebody needs to switch with her, because of her. See, guys, that stand right there can do it, but you have to stand the stand so when you put the camera on there, it ain't looking to the roof. So it can do it. It's just you guys got to see how the stand looks, and because that one's for it. It will work.
Thank you.
But go to Job 9:24, sis. We'll go from there. Then we'll jump back a little bit. Also, another book. Y'all probably didn't hear her, but she was asking about Alexander the Great in a conversation that she got with. It broke. A conversation about with Alexander the Great. A conversation that she got into with somebody about Alexander the Great and about him being a great man. Yeah, he wasn't righteous. He wasn't righteous. Why though? Why? Read that. Let's go to Job 9:24 and read that. It broke? Oh, okay. Well, it's gonna be mighty old arm. Sorry about that. Read that. Job 9 verse 24. Actually, I'll read it. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Like I said, we're for y'all. If we do got any brothers and sisters tuning in, we're only going over this an hour questions, and then we're gonna close out the Day of Atonement feast here with the brothers and sisters that did make it. And let me see here. But I'm gonna go to Job 9:24. Then we're gonna go to Isaiah 24 verse 5. So just showing that these kings of the earth, they were wicked, man. That's why the Most High is gonna take them down. America's not righteous. So if you're talking about pray for the king, people like to use that. Well, it says pray for the king. A righteous king. You know, if a king or a kingdom is doing wicked, we're not praying for this kingdom. We're praying that the Most High's justice and righteousness be established on the earth as it is in heaven. So that's how I would have hit it. But Job 9:24, I'm going to read it. It says here, the earth is given in the hands of the wicked. So who's ruling the earth now? Right, the wicked is ruling the earth, right? Okay, go to Isaiah 24 verse 5. You're going to read Isaiah 24 verse 5. So now how do we know they're wicked? How do we know the earth is given into the hands of the wicked? I mean, obviously, right? But for scripture's sake, being technical sake, this is how I would have hit that individual. That's why I'm going to say this. You sisters got to be studied up as well as the brothers. You are defenders of the gospel as well as the brothers. As much as the brothers. You know, just how you go about to do it got to be with much more humility. You know, when you talk to people, and then you might get this person and get in this conversation and lead them to a brother, lead them to class. Now, you're going to read loud. Right, Isaiah 24, verse 5. Read it.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5.
Now, read a little louder. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5.
Go ahead.
The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Right, so the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. You understand that? It's defiled. Now, how do we know it's wicked? How do we know the earth is given into the hand of the wicked? It's going to tell us. Go ahead.
Because they have transgressed the laws.
Because they transgressed the laws. So I would have took him here and showed him Alexander the Great didn't keep the laws of God. That's why the Greco-Roman Empire was destroyed. So they didn't keep the laws of the Most High. They transgressed the laws. Go ahead.
Changed the ordinance.
They changed the ordinance. And when we go to Daniel's, the 7th chapter, it's going to show specifically that the Greeks and the Romans were going to do this. They changed the order of things. Now, I'm reading that book now. I posted it on Facebook. It's called Rome. I got it in the car. It's called Rome, the City of the Edomites. The Empire of the Edomites. And it shows you how the Greco-Roman Empire, their whole... First of all, we know they're Edomites, right? Well, how did they get to know? How did they get to be the Romans? Well, if you think about it, the Roman Empire, their whole genealogy is based off myth. Romulus killed Remus and they was raised by a wolf. That's like Superman theology. You know what I mean? It's not real. Well, because why? They're the Edomites. They're the so-called white people. And I say so-called white people, their nationality goes back not to the Greeks, not to the Romans, or these fictitious names they put on. It goes back to the Edomites. See, but it's a good book because it just shows you how whatever these Edomites adopted is false, it's fake. So, and when you look at this kingdom, it was built on nothing but lies, falsehood, because they transgressed the laws of God. They did what? Read it from the top, read it again.
The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Go ahead.
Because they have transgressed the laws.
Right.
Changed the ordinance.
They changed the ordinance of things. So that started with the Greco. Well, you know what? Let me watch myself, because this is talking about all wicked kingdoms, from the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Persian and Medes, then the Greeks, and then the Romans. So this is what it's saying a wicked kingdom would do. They would transgress the laws. They would change the ordinance of things. Like, look at what happened when the Greco-Roman Empire came into rule. First of all, when you talk about transgress the laws and change the ordinance, everything, you know what? Let's go there before I jump. Let's go to Daniel's. Go to Daniel 7. Go to Daniel 7. And we're going to go to Daniel 7 and 25. Daniel 7 verse 25. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7 verse 25.
Go ahead.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Right. He shall speak great words against the Most High. Now check this out. Jump up to verse 21. Who are we talking about? See, sis, what's cold is you could have killed him with history right out of this Bible. You could have went right to the Bible and showed him, wait a minute, Alexander the Great was off.
And the reason, I guess, what held me back is because he was all over the place. Like,
right.
It wasn't even just Alexander the Great, but he was also homosexual. And then not only that, but he's a scientist, and a lot of scientists are just kind of like...
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I was just telling my kids that. I was telling Quadashaya that. I was saying, what thing do you like in school? And she said, science. I said, you got to be careful. Because what they try to do with science is, every little step of the way, deny the Most High. And try to make you think, well, there was no power behind it. It was just, it happened. So, yeah.
And I'm complete opposite. I'm like, if it wasn't for the Most High,
right, nothing would. Well, you're a believer.
Yeah.
You're a believer, but you gotta be able to destroy them with that history also. So that's why, and we suggest new people like yourself first get the Bible down, because you could go to the Josephus history. Yes, you could go to all these other books and talk about the history of them. But look, we're going to go right here and talk about the Greeks. Watch. Jump to verse 21. We're at Daniel 7, verse 21.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with...
No, 21. Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at 7, but I'm speaking of 8, verse 21. Jump over to Daniel's 8, verse 21. Go ahead.
And the rough goat is the king of
Grecia. Well, stop. The rough goat. Now, when you go over the whole chapter, it tells you about these 4 empires, right? And they're in history too. You learn them in school. The Babylonians, the Persian and Medes, the Greeks, and the Romans. So what's beautiful is that now the Bible, you're able to go to history and show that, wait a minute, the Most High spoke about them. The rough goat is the king of Grecia. So the Greeks were going to take over. Right? Go ahead.
And the great horn that is between his eye is the first king.
Who was the first king? You see that? You got Philip, the second of Macedonia. When you go to your Apocrypha, it goes into the Greeks. Right? And then you got Alexander the Great, that was his father, Philip of Macedonia. And you got Alexander the Great taking over, right? The Greek or Great or whatever the hell they want to call him. Alexander the Homo. Alexander the guy that slept with his horse. Then now that's when you get into the history, and that's why he probably believes in him, because he's a sodomite. But Alexander was a known homosexual. So the rough goat is the king of Grecia. Go ahead. And the great horn
that is between his eye is the first king.
Go ahead. 22. Read 22.
Now that being broken.
That being what?
Broken.
Right. Now that being broken. Why? Because that kingdom is going to fall. You understand? Excuse me. That was the prophecy during the time of Daniel's, and the Greeks have fell under that empire name. Because when you find out, from the Greeks to the Romans, all the way up to America, those are all still Edomites. Those are all still Esau ruling. Greek Caucasian, Roman Caucasian, Spanish Caucasian, French Caucasian, they're all Edomites. See? Because Romans, they come from who? Those are the Latins. Those are Edomites. So, this is where they come from. All right, let me see here. Right, it goes down and tells you about this empire. Go to, you know what? I'm going to read down. I'm going to read down 22. And that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. It says, and in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. So now it's good. Now it's talking about as the Greeks and the Romans, because there's a such thing as the Greco-Roman Empire. Why? Because they were the same people, right? The Greeks and the Romans were the same people. They knew this. That's why I said this book is a good book, because even they knew that the people of Troy, which were Greeks, that they were kindred. It tells you that in this book, that they were kindred people. So y'all got to get this book, man. You got to get this book. Remember, when it comes to history, it's not totally on point. Give me it out of the car real quick for me, Shirai, so I can read them that book, the title of the book. But it goes in just right on what you're saying. It's perfect timing. But it tells you, it says, and his power shall be mighty, because the Most High gave them their power. From the Greeks, the Romans, from the British, those are all Caucasians. All the way up to America, he gave them their power. You go back to Deuteronomy, the Most High said he's going to raise up a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard old or young. That's when you look at the Greeks, the Greek Caucasian, Spanish Caucasian, French Caucasian, German Caucasian. When you look at the Edomites, and they came into power coming from the Greco-Roman Empire, they were a fearless people. Come on. They were a fearless people. But yeah, it's called the Roman Empire. It says the Empire of the Edomites. And it's by William Beeston. And it goes right in there. A few things we're talking about them being kindred, them being brothers, the Greeks and the Romans, this is really good book for you to understand that and have that history. I was just trying to find that part where I was talking about where it said they were kindred to them. Let me see. Let's see here. Yeah, it says here, the first transaction between the Greeks and the Romans was the application of Roman Senate and the Aetolians for the freedom of the it says Arcadians. It says on the plea that the Romans were bound to protect those whose ancestors alone of all the Greeks. You see that? The Romans and the Greeks, they knew they were ancestors. It says, took no share in war against their progenitors, the Trojans. You see this? So the Greeks and the Romans were the same people. So no matter what name they call themselves, whether Alexander the Great or Alexander the Greek, after he fell, the Greeks fell, the Romans came and ruled, but they were the same people, just fighting amongst themselves. So, just showing you, we're still talking about who? Esau, Edomites. I mean, if you really want to twist his Twinkie, right? But it says here in verse 24, and his power shall be mighty, and not by his own power. It says, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and he shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. See, if you would have hit him with this, you would have blew his head off and showed him that the Greeks were off. They weren't following the commandments of the Most High. It says, verse 25. Now, it's going to show you about the Greeks, the Romans, the Edomites, all the way up to America. It says, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper. So how do they get their craft? Now, if you want to go into that word deep, how do they get their witchcraft to prosper? Through policy, politics. They deal with the Democrats and Republicans. They're so smooth at it now. If y'all haven't been watching, all they got to do is set up a politician that is supposedly fighting against their politician, and it's like Hillary and Trump. What's the big difference? Nothing. What's the difference between Obama and Trump? What, Trump's more of an asshole? Nothing. He's not doing nothing different than Obama did. Obama came in and signed policies on transsexuals and homosexuality. Their guideline and their laws and their rules don't abide in the confines of the scriptures. They separate church and state. So for them to rule according to this is impossible. They made that a rule in their own law.
So I guess that's where it comes in where he was feeling like that's why it's
The cup up here, I almost picked it up. Go ahead.
I guess that's where it comes in where he feels like it's biased because like you said, it's church and state, because to bring the church into it, it's going to speak a certain way.
Right, true. But you got to show him that the church or the Bible was never supposed to be departed. Let me show you something else. Go to your Apocrypha. Go to your Apocrypha. Go to Ecclesiasticus. Ah, man, you got me thinking about so many scriptures right now. But check this out. Let me find it. Because this is the thing dealing with these different kings. I gotta find it. Hold on a second. Because remember, we read the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? All right, let me find it in here. Hold on a second. It's 11. Ah, no, that's not it. Hold on. Hold on, I'm sorry. There's a chapter that goes right into it about the kings. Oh, I'm sorry. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 1. Wisdom of Solomon. I'm in the wrong book. Yeah, this is how you can hit them right here. Because everything... and Abadiah, find me that one that says the earth is the Lord's, but he would give it into the hand of whom he will. Let's find that one. But Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 1. Yeah. Check this out. So let me know when y'all got it. Come? Okay, it says here, hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn ye that be judges, and hear ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of the nations. For the power is given you of the Lord. So there was no way it was ever supposed to be separate of the Lord and sovereignty from the highest. You know why it says that? Because there's a sovereignty that every man has. You know how these people are trying to be sovereigns? Well, he's reminding the kings that this sovereignty, this sovereignty is given of the Most High. So you can't take that from man. You see that? Did you find that one?
Psalms 24 and 1.
Probably right. Hold that. Hold Wisdom of Solomon. And go to Psalms 24 and 1. 24 and 1? You sure?
The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof.
Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm looking at Proverbs. I'm sorry. Psalms 24 and 1. Right. Nah, that's not it. Nah, it says the earth is the Lord's. And he basically would give it into the hand of whom he will. Find it for me. Find it, because I still want to read out this one. But it says here, for the powers is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. Because being ministers of his kingdom, which is the earth, ye have not judged aright. So, going right back to whether Alexander the Great, whatever king you want to admit. You know, think about it, man. The Israelites ruled the Dark Ages for 1,000 years. Henry VIII was black. Socrates was black. Right? Mozart, black. You have a lot of men in the scriptures. Queen Elizabeth, black. There was a lot of black, but they don't tell you that. But we fell for doing wickedness. We weren't, right? I was watching that Tudors. And, you know, of course they got to portray it as Caucasian. But, you know, as you think about it, you're like, wow, we was wicked. Henry VIII was wicked as hell. That's why the Most High overthrew us. You see that? That's why he threw us down. No matter when we try to come back into power, the Most High overthrew us. So, whatever kingdom is what I'm saying, the Most High made us fall to all the other nations and had to serve them. So it says here, because it says, being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged right, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. So, once again, the Most High is reminding us what? Whether it was Alexander the Great or this dang popsicle, red popsicle, yeah, the Most High is giving him power. He's giving the wicked power. The earth is given in the hand of because it's their time. Their little time to reign, because the Most High is being merciful, like Pharaoh. He's giving them time to change. And we're seeing that they're not budging, right? That's the fact of it. Romans 11 tells you this, that the kingdom and the power was taken up from us, and salvation was given to them. But what did they do with it? Wickedness, corruptness, lies, falsehood. They disobeyed the commandments of the Most High. They gave the earth into the hand of the wicked. They transgressed the laws. They broken the covenants. They broken all the contracts. So that's why thy kingdom, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. So God got to do what? He got to come back and replace this kingdom. So, like I said, we could keep going about some of Alexander the Great. He's a filthy animal. Did you find that? Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, because it's a good one.
There's one that says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it. That is prophet.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, I was paraphrasing hella wrong. But yeah, where's that? Sirach 10 and 4. So let me know when y'all got it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, this is what I was looking for, too. But Wisdom of Solomon goes with it hard. I'm going to note that. But yeah, check this out. Yeah, I'm going to read from verse 1. Ecclesiastes 10 and 1. Y'all got it? It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So, I mean, look at what Trump's doing. Trump is not a classy guy. He's a brute. He's brutish. He's beastly. Ever since his little reign started, he has chaos in his own cabinet. So, but it shows you he's stupid. He doesn't. I mean, he's running his mouth so much, it just shows what he is. It tells you about a fool in his speech. And that's what his own people is like, calm down. Shut up. You're making us look bad. Because he is. He's making this kingdom look terrible. Right? And now he's picking war with other kingdoms. He called Kim Jong the Rocket Man. I guess it's some movie or whatever. Right? And clowning him. And they're like, okay, America, you declare war on us. We want to let everybody know that. Why? Because this dude's not a wise king. But he's the perfect king for this time, I'll say that. Because he's going to bring in all the other prophecies. Y'all see that? It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. They're upset that he's promoting division. He's promoting racism. I mean, you hired, come on now, this dude was a racist from the door. He was a misogynist. He is a misogynist. Right? Nobody, come on now. America's funny as hell. You know, it reminds me of the Gladiator, though, where they said, Rome is the mob. America's the mob. You put this man into power. He was an idiot from the door. You didn't see how you seen how he was talking, how he communicated, what were his policies, and now you got something to say about him. Showed you this king wasn't wise, but then again, the people ain't wise. That's why you voted for him. As a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are they that dwell therein. There you go. So, but America has been this. You know, you can't just blame it on Trump. He's just a product of what America is. He's a product of the hate. He's a product of how this kingdom was built on hatred, death, blood, lies, falsehood, corruptness. Like, this is nothing strange to people that at least read a book. Like, you don't even have to read the Bible to know that America's a crooked and corrupt kingdom. You know what I mean? All you have to do is know history, and you see how all these corrupt kingdoms, how they ruled. See, but it shows you our people don't read no more. So they don't understand what corrupt is. They're thinking, yeah, well, he's trying his best. Stop it. Stop it. America was built, their policies. That's why it says he would destroy them with their policy. Their politics is what got us in this situation. Why does other countries have, just in Trinidad has free medical, free schooling. Canada, free schooling, free medical. Why not America?
There's no money in it if it's free.
There you go. You know, and that, now, let's be clear. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and all the kings of the earth sit down with this beast and suck the teat of America. So they're not guiltless either. Because what they're doing over there in Trinidad, yeah, they give you free medical, free schooling, but they find other ways to get the money. You see that? It was never supposed to be set up like this. But now you got money ruling everything. You got the banking system ruling everything. And they're masterminds at it. When you sit back at it, they keep the broke, the poor, and the rich. But guess what? Historically, this has happened from the Babylonian, from the Persian and Medes, from the Greeks, from the Romans, from every empire that ruled. They haven't been ruling with the laws of the Most High. Why do you think when you go back to Daniel's, Christ said all kingdoms are going to be taken out? Why? Because they don't rule with the laws of the Most High. There's no justice, no peace. It didn't matter. Go back and read about the Greeks, the Romans, the Turks, the Chinese. You think Kim Jong is over there? Kim Jong? You think he's over there ruling righteousness? Hell no, he's not ruling righteous either. It's about oppression. It's about breaking his people in propaganda. But wait a minute, is America different? Hell no. America's the best at propaganda. It's the best at how they use the media to deceive the minds of our people. We just barely, in 2017, are getting a taste. The black man and the ones that are awake, the black man is finally getting a taste. Like, oh, I'm gonna get on one knee because we're being treated unjustly. Dude, it's kind of running late, isn't it? Like 400 years later, you getting it? Israelites, we've been teaching since the 70s about the corruptness and the lies and the falsehood. But from the biblical standpoint, yeah, there was other people that spoke about the injustice but from the Most High standpoint, nobody's been in this Bible to show that these kingdoms that are corrupt before the Most High, and they're not God-fearing. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on that. It says, the unwise king destroyeth his people. I'm going to say it again. The unwise king destroyeth his people. Proverbs, it tells you, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. If this is a righteous king, why we got so many homeless in every city of America? Why? Why you got so many unhealthy? If you so-called care about the hurricane and you care about Americans, why the hell Puerto Rico hasn't gotten their supplies? Why? Because you can give a damn less. And if you let America get in your anal cavity and push their propaganda to your brain, you'll be simple enough to believe that America gives a damn when they don't give one damn bits. They don't care. America don't care. That's why we got to teach our kids not to take pride. And, you know, I was watching one YouTube, which was, white dude was on this stuff. But he was saying, you guys are getting all carried away about, what's his name? What's it? Kaepernick, yeah. About him kneeling. He was like, well, when you look at the codes of the flag, he went through the codes of how to use a flag. And again, and according to the flag code, you were not supposed to wear the flag colors. I was like, wow, he got him. He got him. It was something simple, but he was going through the code that you don't supposed to wear it. You don't supposed to put it on none of your clothes. Well, you're getting upset at the black man because he's getting on one knee denouncing the flag. But y'all, this was a white dude. But what's happening now is people are waking up and realizing America is not this great country. They're just better at propaganda. I don't give a damn whether the Arabs are with their propaganda because they're insane too. But America is no better. They in Trinidad, if you look at all the juices, the sodas, they don't got high fructose corn syrup. Why? Because they know it's damn killing you. But America don't care. The FDA approved it. It's okay. Man, but we got to start waking up more and more to see. That's why I try to get my kids to read. Read. First the scriptures, then trying to get them to read these different history books. There's another book I got, and I've been telling everybody about it, but it's really on point about when the Spaniards came over to the island of Hispaniola and when they came to the islands. But I let them hear it on, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I'll get you the name of it. But it's by Bartholomew de la Casa. And he, you would listen to that book? I listened to it, but then I had to buy it. I was like, wow.
Is it a short account of the destruction of the Indies?
Yeah, a short account of the destruction of the Indies. That book, you got to get your kids to read that. And that goes back to when Columbus discovered America. But that's the whole point, that if you let them tell it, they're Superman, Batman, the No Justice, the Justice League. They're the Justice League. They're the ones that stand for justice. You know what I mean? Every person they look at, what? Wonder Woman. The white woman coming to save the world once again. What is it called? Wonder Woman. Right? The white man coming to save the world once again. Who is he called? Iron Man, Superman, Batman, Robin. Everybody is the savior is Caucasian. Then Christ is Caucasian. The angels are Caucasian. You let them tell it, they're God. Right? So you gotta. They're the best at propaganda. They're the best at getting in your head with media and TV and radio. So what Kim Jong is doing over there talking about, he doesn't let them get on the internet. The hell, you don't either. You let them get on your internet. Now they're upset that the Russians had a little, went in Facebook and manipulated media. All they did was put up ads. You do that all the time. Right? So this is what the Most High is showing us, man. We got to wake up to a lot of these things, man. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And that's why you see it This guy he's going to get it to where we'd be wiped out. If it wasn't for the Most High, we'd be wiped the hell out, because he'll start a fight with these kingdoms and they will destroy us. I mean, if it wasn't for the Most High. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? And that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to destroy this kingdom and raise up his kingdom. That's why, and I'll finish it up on this one, because you can remember 10th chapter, read all of that, because it goes into their pride and why they're going to fall, and then go into Wisdom of Solomon 6, then go back to Daniel 7. We'll finish it on this one. And like I said, for y'all online, we're only doing an hour today because we're going to finish the feast up. Nobody here's eating. And we're going to get our little grub on real quick. Pray and get our grub on. Daniel 7 and Daniel 7. No. Not 25. What is it? Let me find it. Hold on. Oh, man. It's Daniel's. Let me find it real quick. Wow, it's right on my head. It's Daniel's. Hey, shalom, man. Shalom. Daniel's, What's going to happen in the end? Everyone is going to fall. Why? Because they're righteous? Because they're wicked. So when you go over in, we've been over Daniel's, but we'll go over it again for you. But yeah, that's how I would hit them. You know what I mean? When you deal with that history, you can go right into the scriptures and show them. You know? Yeah, even if you go to Maccabees, the first chapter and the first verse, it tells you about Alexander the Great and the Greeks, how when they came in. All right? That's why they say Rome is the city of Idumea, or the city of Edom. Why? Because they know it's the Edomites. All right? All right, she's still... Y'all got any other question? Huh? Nah? Not anything? I mean, we got a few more minutes till the sun goes down. Yeah.
No, just as you were in Daniel, I was thinking of back when, remember they had the bear that represented certain countries, a certain country.
Yeah, the bear.
I forgot what they.
You're talking about Daniel's 7. Yeah, you're talking about Daniel 7, but the bear, verse 5, and behold, another beast, a second like to a bear.
I think that's...
Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
I think so. It was from way back in Colorado, probably. But I remember there were different animals that represented...
Different kingdoms. Yeah, it's 7. Okay. It's 7, yeah. We'll touch on it again. I think last time we hit that was... It's been a while, but we'll touch on Daniel 7 again. But it just goes over those 4 empires we're going to come up. And it prophesies of the Greeks coming in, the Romans coming in. And we know all the way through, which was America, really, that came up. So, but we'll touch on that. We can do that for one of the Monday classes, yeah.
Quick question. Do you have, like, classes on
We can go over that. I need to go over that. We haven't been over that.
Because I'm curious on like why Judah moved to the area they moved to.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, like I keep telling everybody, when you deal with archaeology and anthropology, now let me see how basic could I do it. All right, so the Greeks came in. Let's stick with what you're talking about. The Greeks and the Romans came in, right? What did they do to Jerusalem in 65 AD? 70 AD, I mean, huh? They overthrew it. But what did they do? What?
They took us as slaves and then they scattered us.
There you go. So imagine this happening. It first happened with us during the Assyrian Empire, when the Ethiopians were put in our land. So we'll go over that. When you learn a lot of history, you find out that it's hard to know. The only way we know a lot of information is because prophecies. But to know where they move, from where they move, like at every step, it's not. You're not going to know that. You know, think about it. How much archaeology are they pulling from Mesopotamia that they're saying is Egyptian history or it's African history? What about ours? We were there. The black man was there. But why are they not pulling our stuff? Because a lot of these so-called archaeologists are suppressing a lot of information. The Roman Catholic Church suppressed a lot of information. There's a go on YouTube and look up dang, what's the scrolls they found?
The Dead Sea Scrolls.
Okay, there's a documentary on these Dead Sea Scrolls. But in the documentary, they're talking about how the Roman Catholic Church got involved and made sure they got the scrolls first. Yeah, hell yeah. But that ain't nothing new. I'm saying that's one of the documentaries where I remember them talking about it. But they do that all the time. Anytime these artifacts come up, anytime this information comes up, they make sure they skim over it first, because they make sure what they want to get out gets out. So the Roman Catholic Church got a lot of power, money, and pull to make sure, oh, we don't want this information to get out. So a lot of the information that's being brought out, we have to search deep. Like, think about it. How many books? Because that was my research. My research was getting more information on Esau being the so-called white man, on the Romans being Edomites, and the Greeks. Because that's easy. If I get that, then we got the proof, right? But all these, like, we got the book called Who is Esau, Who is Edom, right? But you got this so-called white man going from a Jewish perspective, showing that the so-called Jews are Edomites. This cat right here is going into the Greek and Roman history and showing that they're Edomites. Then we have the book called The Apostle. It's going in kind of the same theme, saying the Romans are Edomites. So then you got Arthur Koestler and the 13 tribes showing you that they were Turks. But these Turks, we know, were Edomites. You see that? So you got, it's a lot. And that's why I posted on my Facebook the other day, because I've been doing so much reading, that if you think you can go through a few YouTubes and think you're a scholar, there's no way in hell. It takes you years. I'm talking about 10 years to really be able to compile the information, read enough of the information to be able to say, nah, this is what it is. This is what they found. But you get people that look at one History Channel documentary and swear they're a scholar. It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So I'm saying that because when you deal with our people or the migration of our people, the greatest thing we have is this Bible. To be able to go through Deuteronomy and say, our people went through this. This is the signs. This is the wonder. Then you can add a little history and things of that nature, right, to add to it. But this Bible, we would not know. Without this Bible, we would not know we the Hebrew Israelites. Yeah.
You know what's crazy in you saying that people, though, will put so much stock and faith in the books
Yeah.
before they even read the Bible.
Right.
And go, like,
yeah.
they'll take that and run with that
They take that and run.
And they don't even give the most.
They're not going through this history. You know why? Because let God be true and every man a lie. Okay, so a lot of these books, like books we read for historical reference, they don't be on point all the way. They be somewhat on point. Like he's going in here and maybe I got to do more research. I mean, he's got a point, but it's deep. Like he was talking about the Romans, that Latin comes from Hebrew. Latin is like, you can see a lot of Hebrew in Latin, which is true. But what I'm saying is that you got to be able to go through this information with this mind. But so if you don't got this first, all these other books is nothing. You see that? So why is it good to have the history? Because just like you dealing with these historians, you're able to go and say, nah, look, let me show you in history. Yeah.
And it goes hand in hand with like what I'm saying forensics. It starts off with like what do people do.
Right.
And then
Anthropology.
Anthropology is part of it.
Yeah.
Chemistry is part of it. So it's just all digging into it on like where did this all stem from to begin with.
Right.
And so like, my peer that I was talking to, he was double major physics and chemistry. Like he liked history. Like he brought up biblical history. I'm like, no, there's no way.
See, but let me tell you something. There's a history on top of the history. So, or underneath, if you would, because they don't bring out the real history. They're not telling you that the black people ruled during the Dark Ages. They're not telling you these things. So, nah. It ain't like that, sis. It ain't like that. So we're gonna go over it though. We'll be going over I'm going over a lot more of it too. But once again, what's the point of all that if you ain't got the Bible? You gotta have this. You see how I just went to the Bible to show you about the Greeks? It's easy. I could have just showed up, you could have just showed it from that perspective. And the other books are additives to smash it. But start right here, So, all right, what time is it? It's that time. So that was it. We were just touching on these questions till the sun goes down. We are going to be ending the Day of Atonement. We're going to be getting a little food or whatever and saying some prayers real quick. Brothers and sisters, we will be back here tomorrow morning for Sabbath class. So I'll salute y'all and I'll say shalom. Salute them, y'all. Shalom. All right? And with that, we'll say